The storm was only the beginning. She thought she had left her past behind in the city, but a single letter pulled her back to the cabin she once called home. A cowboy who waited a lifetime, a love she tried to forget, and a secret darker than the storm outside. On this night, when footsteps echo on the porch and danger hides in the shadows, she must face the truth. Sometimes love is not just about waiting, it's about fighting for the one who never stopped waiting for you. The storm had rolled in fast, dark clouds tumbling across the Montana sky like a stampede of wild horses. The air was thick with the scent of rain and pine, and the wind howled through the valley as if warning of something long forgotten. Emily pulled her shawl tighter, eyes darting across the dirt road that led to her family's old log cabin. She hadn't been back here in years. And she hadn't planned on returning, until the letter arrived. The letter had no name, no address, just a single line written in a hand she almost recognized: "He's still waiting for you." Emily's heart had raced when she read it. Memories she'd buried deep clawed their way back: the boy who had once promised to wait for her, the cowboy whose eyes had held 1,000 unspoken words. She had left him behind, chasing city lights and dreams that never came true. And now, years later, someone was telling her he was still here. Still waiting. Lightning cracked across the horizon, illuminating the outline of the cabin. She hesitated at the porch, the wooden boards creaking beneath her boots. The door stood slightly ajar, candles glowing faintly inside. And there he was. Caleb. Older now, broader shoulders, rugged jawline dusted with stubble. His hat rested on the table beside him, his eyes fixed on her as though the years had been nothing but a pause in their story. "You came back," he said softly, his voice low and rough like gravel under boots. Emily's breath caught. "You waited?" He didn't answer at first. Instead, he rose, every step deliberate, closing the space between them. When he stopped just inches away, the storm outside seemed to fade into silence. His eyes burned with a truth she wasn't ready to face. "I told you once," he murmured, "I'd wait a lifetime if I had to." But Emily wasn't sure if she had come back for love, or for answers. Because someone had left that letter, and the way Caleb's hand brushed against hers made her wonder if the past was about to catch up in ways more dangerous than she ever imagined. The cabin smelled of pine wood and smoke, the fire crackling as rain lashed against the windows. Emily sat by the hearth, her hands trembling as she held the cup Caleb had placed before her. He hadn't asked why she returned. He didn't need to, his eyes said enough. But there was something else in his gaze. Something guarded. "Why now?" she finally asked, her voice barely above the thunder. Caleb leaned against the mantel, arms crossed, his shadow stretching long in the flickering light. "Because time doesn't change the truth, Emily. And you know it." But Emily shook her head. She didn't know, not anymore. Years ago, she had fled this place not because of him, but because of the night she never spoke about. The night someone had followed her home through the woods. The night she'd sworn she heard boots crunching behind her, but when she turned, no one was there. And now there was the letter. She pulled it from her pocket, laying it on the table. Caleb's eyes narrowed as he read it, his jaw tightening. "Who gave you this?" he asked. "I thought it was you." His head snapped up. It wasn't. The fire popped sharply, like a gunshot, and Emily flinched. Caleb crossed the room in 2 strides, crouching in front of her. His hand brushed against her cheek, steadying her. Someone doesn't want you here. And if they know I waited," he stopped, his eyes darkening. "What aren't you telling me?" she whispered. Before he could answer, a knock thundered at the door. Both froze. The storm masked any footsteps, but that knock, slow, deliberate, echoed like a warning. Caleb reached for the rifle mounted above the door. "Stay behind me," he ordered. The door creaked open to reveal nothing but rain-soaked darkness. No figure. No sound. Just the empty night. Caleb shut it hard, bolting it. Emily's pulse raced. The storm was one thing, but she knew storms. What she didn't know was why her past had followed her here, and why the man who claimed to love her seemed to be hiding the one truth she needed most. The fire had burned low, shadows dancing across the cabin walls as Emily paced the wooden floorboards. Caleb sat at the table, the rifle beside him, his hat pulled low over his eyes. Silence stretched between them, thick as the storm outside. Finally, Emily stopped. "You owe me the truth." Caleb's jaw clenched. "The truth is, I waited. That's all you need to know." "No," she slammed her hand on the table, the sound sharp. "Someone brought me back here. Someone who knows us, knows me. And you're acting like you're protecting me from something you won't say." "What is it, Caleb?" His eyes lifted slowly, heavy with the weight of years. And then he spoke. "The night you left, I wasn't just waiting for you. I was watching." Her breath caught. "I saw him," Caleb said. "The man who followed you through the woods. The one you were too scared to talk about. He wasn't just passing through, Emily. He was looking for you. And he never stopped." The cabin seemed to shrink around her, the air thick. "Who?" she whispered. Caleb's hand tightened on the rifle. "My own brother." The words cut like a blade. She stumbled back, her world spinning. Caleb's brother, Ethan. She remembered his eyes, colder than the Montana winters, the way he'd lingered too long when she was near. And now, after all these years, he was still out there. "That letter," Caleb continued, "it wasn't a promise. It was a threat. He wants you back here, where he knows you'll be vulnerable. And he knows I'll fight to keep you safe." Emily's chest rose and fell rapidly, fear clawing at her, but beneath it, something else burned. Because despite the danger, despite the storm and the shadows outside, Caleb had waited. Through everything, he had waited. She moved closer, her hand trembling as she touched his face. "You shouldn't have wasted your life on me." His eyes softened, fierce and tender all at once. "Emily, waiting for you was the only thing that kept me alive." And in that moment, as the storm raged outside and footsteps once again creaked on the porch, she realized what the letter had truly meant. It wasn't just a warning. It was a test. Because love that waits a lifetime isn't just love, it's war. And tonight, in the cabin where it all began, Emily would have to decide if she was ready to fight for the man who had never stopped fighting for her.